Breaking news here on FT. One of the best in the sport, Tarik Skubal, back-to-back Cy Young winner, going down, needing some surgery. Will Carroll, our injury expert and the star of Injury Territory, joining us right now to discuss it. Will, what can you tell us about this surgery to remove the loose body? Is this the same one that Edwin Diaz just got?
Yeah, that's exactly it, Scott. It's loose bodies. We used to call them bone chips. But now that we know a little bit more about them, sometimes they just occur inside a structure. That could be a ligament, that could be a tendon. It could be something breaking off, but you go in there, you pull them out, you make sure nothing else is clean. You try to see if there's something like a bone spur that broke off, whether it was the olecranon process, which is the end of the elbow slamming together. So a really tough one there, and one where it's a simple surgery, but you have to realize that the bone chips are not the problem; they're the sign of a previous problem.
Are they able to diagnose that when they get in there? What the sign of the previous problem was?
Yeah, the surgeons have gotten really good at this. Being able to see what it is. You can see where a bone spur has broken off. You can usually, with those chips, kind of forensically take a look at it. You'll take a look at the end of the process, see whether the bones are slamming together, whether those are those loose bodies are in there. The fact that they're calling them loose bodies kind of makes it sound like they're a floater. And they may know this, that it's not embedded within one of the structures like a ligament or a tendon. So that might be a little bit telling in what they're saying.
Timetable. What is a normal timetable for return for a pitcher with this injury?
Yeah, this has significantly changed, and it kind of depends on what they find when they're in there. It used to be they would just remove the bodies and put them right back in there once the inflammation was down. I can remember Johan Santana came back in just shy of 15 days. And so it's possible to come back. But is it the smartest thing to do, especially for a guy like Skubal? We saw him shake out his arm last week, and this has to be uh, the signal from that. He stayed in, he struck out the side, so he obviously still had the capability, but he was feeling it. If you think about Hunter Green, he was saying it felt like he was being stabbed every time he extended his arm. That can't be fun. We've seen it with Diaz and now with Skubal. This is something that we're catching more and more often. I was just saying on Injury Territory that it seems that we're catching these things earlier. We've seen less Tommy John surgeries this year, but we've seen virtually the same number, 54 to 52, if you look at where we were starting May 1st. Compared year over year. So maybe we're just catching these things earlier. Maybe we're actually getting better at missing 2 months rather than 12.
Skubal is down probably for multiple months here with the surgery that he's going through. Tigers have actually suffered quite a few injuries lately to their pitchers. They just lost Casey Mize the other day to Will. So, thoughts on, the Tigers getting hit with injuries lately, but also just to throw the conspiracy theory out there because it's going to happen. Fans are going to go, oh, Edwin Diaz and Tarik Skubal both pitched in the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah. And let's go one further. And Cal Raleigh has been down this weekend with what seems to be an oblique. They've said side soreness now rather than general soreness. I don't think there's any evidence of that. I mean, Skubal's been healthy up to this point. He didn't have this problem, showed absolutely no signs, and he's been very, very good this year, both at the Classic and since. Diaz, not a problem he's ever had previously. He had a previous elbow issue back in 2019, but I don't think we can connect 2019 and 2026. I think this is something that just occurred. I think with Diaz especially, and thinking about it, this would be Skubal as well because of the insurance issue. But Diaz had a physical when he came in with the Dodgers and did not have that problem. You would assume when Skubal had his insurance physical, there is no way they would have let him even pitch that one game if they saw a problem with his elbow. So I think this is something new. I think this is something that happens. And I think we're seeing it more because the doctors and the athletic trainers and the rest of the medical staff have gotten better at diagnosing this. But I think when we saw him shake that arm out last time out, that was the first signal.
There's no way.
Oh,
Let's
well,
not blame the WBC. Please, let's not do
no,
that.
I'm not.
Please.
I'm just saying
I
that
mean,
the fans do that.
Skubal pitched one time. He threw like what, 4 innings?
Yeah.
It would have been the same as if he was pitching in Lakeland on the back. I mean, come on. Like let's not
And
make
it was
that,
against,
please. It was against Great Britain.
yeah,
Please, let's just
we're good.
not, because here's the problem. If we say that, then people will say, "Oh, look, they're, doing this or doing that." So let's not even go there.
But I bring it up because people bring it up on social media, because you can say whatever you want there, and then we're on here to bring on people that know what they're talking about.